Butler, and I am to be avid domainer. And a domainer is a very strange business because we're on the sort of fringes of the internet. If you ask people what a domainer is, a lot of folk don't really understand what a domainer is. And basically, domainers, we basically own the internet when it comes to the quality domains, the domains that will get the traffic, the domains that will get the business, and I'll tell you a wee bit about basically how the domains work. So this is just basically a rough intro with regards to the very first domain name that was registered, which was Symbolics. It was created in 1985. Now, if you look from 1985 until today, there is over 300 million domain names registered. Think about that. Now, what is the value of a domain name in today's world? Anybody any ideas what the value of a domain name is? Would you like to know? Well, have you bought a name 25 years ago, 20 years ago? What sort of value and return you would get back on it? Well, here you go. Here's some of the stats. 342 million domain names. So how does your business start to get traffic with regards to this? Right? Here's an idea. Whiskey.com. Right? World's most expensive bottle of whiskey, 849,000. Whiskey.com sold 2 years ago. Just the domain name, nothing else. 3.2 million. Think about that. Less than 25 years. Domain name cost nothing back then, the .com. The guy that owns Whiskey.com also owns Palm Springs, Acapulco, Nashville, and another 2,000 domains, just like that. He's already, him and his brother are already multi-millionaires. They just sold Rooms.com as well for over $1 million. Now, if you take LasVegas.com, now I'm what you call a geodomainer. I like geographical locations. And if you take Fraser's in Glasgow, the department store, just sold recently, was bought by Sports Direct for 95 million. The reason is, LasVegas.com, that domain name sold £90 million for that domain name. Can you believe it? It's there on record, just type it in. And what you'll find with domain names these days is, especially in America, most top domain names have all got non-disclosure agreements. And what happens is no one really can find out unless it becomes public. But there are certain domainers who go in and check out the company records because when a domain name gets done, there's a financial transaction. So after a year, someone can then find out exactly what the price for that domain name is. And what's happening now is domain names are major assets for businesses. So I'm going to show you some domain names which some businesses own, just to give you a rough idea. So here you go, Honda, motorcycles, scooters, enterprise, rental car. Now this is an interesting one with them on rental car because bookings.com has just bought rental cars. So that's going to be interesting. You know, if you look at Condé Nast domains, brides.com, glamour, New York, style, gourmet, Monster Worldwide, jobs.com, military.com. These are just some of the names that some of the top companies in the world own. And some of these companies own 2,000, 10,000, 30,000 domains. But they don't want people to know. Why? Because they look at you as being competition. They don't want you to buy these names because they want them for themselves. If you look at P&G, dishes.com, nails.com, baby diapers, you know, these are all names that are worth mega bucks in today's world. If you look at GlaxoSmithKline, toothbrush.com, coleslaw.com, asthma.com, these are the names that are keywords generating. Now, if companies like these are spending millions buying up domain names, what chance does your business have? Well, your business has a lot because there's an average of 30,000 domain names drop on a daily basis because businesses go into liquidation. And luckily enough, most insolvency practitioners do not understand the value of a domain name because they can't see it when it's virtual. So there is a very good market there for picking up what we call drops in the business. So I'm going to tell you about how we got into this business. I've been doing domaining now for 22 years. I started off basically looking at hyperlocal, being in Glaswegian. We didn't own Glasgow at the time, but what we did do, we started buying up the Glasgow plumbers, Glasgow builders, all the sort of ones that Craig was sort of mentioning. And we built up what I call that cluster domaining. You build up a group, it means that you are sort of, once you build up the group, you're sort of suffocating everyone else. And when you get to a certain level, you basically capture the market, you get to a stage where you don't care. So we own names like GlasgowNightlife.com, bars, clubs, pubs. We also own the .co's as well, Glasgow Shop, shopping. And I can tell you the stats for every single money name, but it gets sort of boring after a while. So this is basically a small sample of our Glasgow network. So with our Glasgow network, we then moved up to what we call the next level, which is Greater Glasgow. So we had captured Glasgow as far as we were concerned with Glasgow.com. We then bought eastcombride.com, bought that off someone in Saudi Arabia, would you believe? Largs.com, we bought that for somebody in Kuwait. Then we bought for somebody up in Strathclyde Union, and other ones we bought. So we continue to buy them. Why did we buy them? Because each one of these has a population. And that is where, if you can aim for that hyper-local content and hyper-local business, because if you come from those areas, you're proud of where you come from. And therefore that gives us an added advantage of owning those areas because they're on the map. And that's what we like doing it. If you look at the map, see the area, the domain name's available, buy it. The John O'Groats one I actually got for free. I done a favour for one of my American friends who was having a legal problem. And he said, Tommy, he said, I've got all these Scottish names. Have you applied? And I went, I'll give you John O'Groats. He went, fine. 2 days later, it was in my account. I am absolutely delighted with having that name because that gets good traffic from the Land's End to John O'Groats walks. So this is what we call basically my Scotland network with regards to geos. Then I also own Scottish Weather, Scottish Tours, Scottish Rooms, Scottish Holidays, Scottish Flights. These are just some of my Scotland network. So what you can see is the different layers from hyper-local, geographical to then Scotland-wide. So along with doing all that, I also own a car network, a hotel network, shopping network, a luxury network, a car sales network, and I've also got Twitter accounts and LinkedIn. So the Scottish Weather one was quite funny. A few years ago, we were being interviewed by the Evening Times, and the guy says, look, he says, when you bought Glasgow, he says, you told us you want Scottish weather and you were going to make it 15% warmer. I went, yeah. He said, I'm going to make Scotland 15% warmer, so it'll bring in the tourists. So he then proceeds to do a story. He wants to visit Scotland up and says, what do you think of Tommy Butler? The Scottish weather is going to make it 15% warmer. You can't do that. It's sort of, madness. So then he also asked me, what did that link to Visit Scotland's website? And I went, well, I wasn't too impressed with it. So obviously we get into an argument of words. Next minute I get the phone calls from some of my friends doing south, because it then got picked up the radio, and it was on the radio about me actually wanting to change the weather here in Scotland, which I thought was great for me. So a domain name is really, really good. Every one of the domain names that we own is a potential business, because ranging from the van hire to the car rental, that's what we look at. I look at a domain as being a sales rep that works for us 24 hours a day, but without the headache and the heartache of employing staff. So I'll start off with the next bit, which is sort of building a car hire business. Now, I've put down the .coms here, but we also own like Glasgow Airport car hire, Newcastle, Liverpool, Birmingham Airport car hire. And we've just done a deal with one of the world's biggest car hire companies. And it was actually quite funny because we also, before they moved into Abu Dhabi, Dubai, Bahrain, we owned the names, and I was at the World Travel Show in London. And the guys come up to us and went, Tommy, do you still got any Middle East car hire names? I went, yeah, great. He says, we've moved in there. So we're just about to relaunch all these car hire sites. Dubai Airport car hire, Bahrain, Marbella car rental, etc. And I just bought 2 weeks ago, which I got as a draw. It cost me £10 for the name, Monaco car hire, which that's going to be doing top high-end car hire rental. Think about that. The domain name, I think, was 17 years old, 13 years old, and I picked it up for $10. It was a company that went bust with the financial crash based in Germany, who were hiring out luxury cars. And luckily enough, we've got a partner who does this sort of stuff. Now, this will start leading to the luxury sort of side of the market, which I'll tell you in a wee bit. But at the moment, we've got 150 car hire sites, which do very well, including Las Vegas Airport car hire there as well. So, the next network I've got is hotels, and I was asked to do a talk in Napa. So I went to Napa for 24 hours, sort of thing. And when I came back from Napa, I went and bought Napa Hotel. We then looked at it because we had 200 hotel sites for the UK. We still own the hotels in Mayfair, etc. But Greenup Hotels, when we were getting bookings for Greenup Hotels, the commission was like £2.60. When you get it for a Mayfair hotel or one of the top ones in Edinburgh for a family of four, it puts a smile on our face. So we looked at the market and we started to go overseas because of certain things. And what we started doing was we started buying. Napa was the very first one. Last year we bought Magaluf Hotel, that was another drop. Santa Ponza was another drop. So, you know, looking at what we do is, I'm not interested in spending tens of thousands of pounds buying a name, although if I have to, I will. But I prefer waiting, because it's a waiting game, to try and get the right name at the right price, because that is totally crucial. So, one of the latest strategies that we have started doing with regards to this is we now visit the places that we're interested in. Now, if you take Carcass and Castle, we went there 2 years ago. It was a wreck. Totally loved the place. Never even heard of the place. Discovered big medieval castle. One of the top tourist attractions in France. So on that, we went there for 4 days. We then went down to the town of Adge, which is about 30 minutes going to Ayrshire. To here, and then down to the Cap d'Agde. And when we went to the Cap d'Agde, big giant marina, £5 million boats, £2 million boats. The Cap d'Agde is split up into two sort of sections. You've got the sailing crowd, and then you've got we discovered that it's Europe's biggest nudist colony as well. So we then came back and bought Cap d'Agde Hotel, Cap d'Agde Hotel, so we got the two names, so we got them up. 6 months ago, the hotel in Adge went into liquidation. So guess who bought Adge Hotel? It completes the network of building a structure, building a network. And then last week, or 2 weeks ago, we managed to buy, as a drop again, CoteD'AzurHotels.com, and I loved getting that name. I think it was a 17-year-old name, and we have started developing that. But we also own St Maximum Hotel and St Ralph, which are very small locations in the south of France, but as a group, it started building up a fantastic sort of network for that. Ibiza Town Hotels, I was there, I worked on the Ibiza, I've been up there, so we now look at the sort of thing that when I'm planning a holiday, we try and take as many photographs as possible and try and build up the sort of areas. On LinkedIn, I'm a great adapter on LinkedIn. I have 438 company pages on LinkedIn. And it took me 18 months to do it. This was before Microsoft bought it, because I discovered that Google loves the company pages on LinkedIn. So we also done this for the simple reason was that when you put in the search box, if you type in Miss Palmer's Hotels, we'll come up. If you type in Magaluf Hotels, Costa del Sol, we have got that for London shops, other hotels, so that has been a fantastic little secret. It's what we call a golden nugget for certain companies. If you can use the domain, they're getting the link back, you create the page, and not only that, Microsoft is producing lots of nice wee add-ons now that are making the company search pages absolutely fantastic, and I love that as a sort of business. On the LinkedIn groups, when we first started on LinkedIn, I created the Glasgow group, just the keyword Glasgow. That now has 3,825 members. Because I've got a pub network, we created the keyword pubs, and we have 2,797 people that are in the pub industry in the UK. Also, since I'm into e-commerce retailing, I created that in 2,239. And also being a wee bit cheeky, I created Visit Scotland sort of thing as well. Just lately we created Costa del Sol, Costa Blanca. We used to have it, and then we recreated it. So we create the LinkedIn groups because I look at LinkedIn as being a fantastic tool for us to get business and build up contacts. Also as well, these are just some of the sort of LinkedIn pages, just to let you see the sort of idea, just to, build up the linkage, but use them and post in them. And what will happen is people in those industries will follow you and will comment on it, which is really, really good. We add more value by, I have over 600 Twitter accounts. Again, we look at the structure. Here you can see that's Miss Palmer's Hotels. Now, when we bought Miss Palmer's Hotels, we got that as another drop. And when we started catch all account, what happened was we started receiving jet through inquiries, airport transfers, holiday makers and everything else. So I actually phoned up the company that were using this domain, right, Las Palmas Hotels. Now think about it, the hotel spends £20 million, £30 million building a hotel, and then it owns the name Las Palmas Hotels, which is what people are searching for, and it lets it drop. And what they told us was that the marketing director, who was all about branding, was giving them a page on their company website. So I was a bit shocked at that, because in today's, the amount of business that we've had with that name, that gave us, we have buying Las Palmas Hotels, we then went and bought Costa Deca Hotels, Los Cristianos, and Los Americas Hotels as well. So we've been building up a European hotel network to add to our growing network of domain names. And our hotel networks all stem from Hotels Glasgow. The cars network all stems from Glasgow Car Hire. So that's the way it works. The other thing that we do is we're very good at getting Twitter accounts. These are just some of my Twitter accounts, as you can see. Now, we didn't get these to begin with. These were what you call abandoned Twitter accounts. And this is another wee tip for you. So if you look at the dash with the Las Palmas, and you even pick up a name, let's say Las Palmas dash hotels or whatever it is, put the site up, use it for 6 weeks, every day just do one post, and then after about 6 weeks, I say to Twitter, can we get this other account, which is the keyword, like Glasgow or whatever, and 9 times out of 10, Twitter will give you that name. The only one that we didn't get was soul quotes. And I'm absolutely gutted because someone was using soul quotes. So every one of these Twitter accounts is all about branding for us, having Glasgow, East Kilbride, Cumbernauld, because it goes with what we're doing, what our long-term strategy is. As I said, we own all the Twitter accounts for all the pubs, and that's the same on LinkedIn as well. And each one of these is all good followers. So, you know, this is just some of the 240 shopping accounts that we have got. And we actually use them at Torbay, shopping. We've not used them for a wee while because we're doing a lot of restructuring just now. Hotel Loch Lomond, I think I've got about 700 followers just for that. But in total, I would say our Twitter numbers are about 800,000, just over 800,000 Twitter followers. But it's 800 Twitter followers at a hyper-local level, at that local area, in that local city or town. And I prefer that compared to 400,000 or a million, because I'm active at that level. But I would also say if someone is starting a digital business or whatever else, build up a network, strategize on it, work on it. And if you're a student, if you're going for a job, if you have this sort of portfolio, you would get a job easily, because digital marketing companies would love to have their hands on this sort of stuff. So that is basically the sort of stuff that I do. I buy and sell domain names. One of the domain names that we owned was one of the guys, Martin that I got into domains, who was a South African. He bought a casino name, and the casino name, he sold it to a casino owner in the States, but the casino owner didn't pay him cash. The casino owner gave him £15,000 worth of credits online from spending gambling. So what Martin done was, Martin took the credits, he spent the 15,000 in 2 days. Not only did he spend the 15,000, he spent the 10,000 he's in. And the casino owner then phoned him up and said, do you know what, I'd have paid you 50,000 for that name, and started laughing at him down the phone. Just over a year later, have a guess who let that domain name relapse, and have a guess who got it, and have a guess who resold it for $150,000.
Jill, stop me. Hang on a second.